Duke started playing Duke Lacrosse.
To the opening face-off we go. Steve Delamonte for Robert Morris, and Duke wins the draw. It's Joe Naso, the freshman. Duke struggled at the X in that game against Denver, just 6 of 25. Michael Sowers, ball in his cross, and that's where he's so comfortable and so lethal. And somebody lost a stick. That one did not go in.
It'll be
Shot
interesting
by
to
Sean
see.
Lowry.
That could have been on the inside.
Badour now, the senior from Canada. Here is Jimmy Perkins, 51. Over to Kealey. Perkins feeding the crease to Badour. And Robert Morris, Bobby Moe with the opening salvo.
And Robert Morris starts in a circle set here, offense, an empty crease. They then cut forward. And right there you can see Badour from Perkins. Just simple, get to the crease, be patient, and skill.
Perkins has his man hung up grenade out of the cage. Perkins vipers around. Now picked up by JT Giles Harris, best defender in the country. Kealey feeding inside. Corson, Kealey to Ryan Smith, then Robert Morris up 2-zip. This feels like the Denver game from Friday.
Robert Morris has come to play, and again, offensively, this team is incredibly skilled. This is perfect offense. Drive down the side, throw the ball through X, the perfectly timed cut, the patient finish. If you're a high school coach or a college coach,
Duke trailed 6-1 against Denver. The goalie change seemed to spur them. Smith back to Badour against the shorty Jake Caputo. Badour has it stick checked away. It's picked up, and another goal by Robert Morris. Austin Popovich, he's their top midi.
Robert Morris getting goals in all types of fashion. Man-up goal. Great team offense going. Something to keep an eye on.
Popovich was in the middle of a breakout season last year before things ended. Another chance, another goal. Robert Morris taking it to the #1 team in the country. Corson, Kealey, it's 4-0. And if you're John Danowski, you got to think timeout right now.
The pinch and pop. The push and that, the great pass there. What's unique in that situation is the face-off man, Delamonte, left-handed with the pass down the near side.
Naso's taking every face-off for Duke. He and Delamonte battling, and Naso wins this one. Naso, a freshman, plays it to Terry Lindsay, and the short stick D-Midi gets Duke on the board.
Duke answering the bell. We mentioned they'd been struggling at the face-off. Naso, the freshman, wins it. Very patient.
The effect of playing 2 games in 3 days?
Absolutely. Early on in the season with not anywhere near what you're typically used to preseason-wise from a scrimmage perspective, even numbers of practice, playing back-to-back games in a weekend will wear on you. We saw that today with Denver.
Ryan Smith, his second, unassisted. It's 5-1. And to that point, Matt, though, with Duke, what have we talked about? It's been the depth. So many different pieces. They should be able to be ready for these kind of games. 2 games in 3 days.
More than
down in the box, a minute man up for the Blue Devils. Last season, Duke only 4 of 18 with the extra man. Sowers operates from X. Checked by Chasen, feeds in front. What a pass and what a finish. And those two have a little synergy. Sowers to Philip Robertson, his old teammate who came over from Princeton.
Not your typical man-up goal. Sowers holding on to the ball. But look at this feed. I mean, picture-perfect pass. Now, again, that's good defense from Robert Morris.
Robert Morris. Badour has his pass taken away. Adler's provided a lift. That pass batted down. Perkins turned away. Adler on the doorstep again. Badour spin cycles, lost the ball. Big ground ball here. And it comes to Duke. Frizzoli. Galloping into the box. Plays it back. Bounce shot and a score. Jake Caputo.
Adler playing the role of spoiler. The pass intercepted there. Robert Morris deflects his pass, but look at that acrobatic save. And then again, Duke on the transition here. Caputo, a two-way type midfielder.
Bounds, Robert Morris ball, quick restart. Now they had a chance there to put one on the empty net. Dan Taddeo, 29.
And if I'm Robert Morris, I actually may slow it down here a little bit. I think they're getting a little nervous with Adler and Cage. I feel like they don't feel particularly comfortable. And there's a turnover here, I'm not sure why, but if I'm Robert Morris, maybe a little more patient offensively.
And a long pole goal by Tyler Carpenter. We knew Duke had depth. They're getting scoring today, though, from guys you don't expect it from.
And Carpenter here pushing in transition. Robert Morris slow to go.
Now they got a shot to get in.
Yeah, the Ivy League being, potentially not a factor will open up the postseason for a lot of programs that may have felt shortchanged in the years past, right? High Point last year or 2 years ago had a gripe for not making the tournament. Without the Ivy Leagues, they're in. So it'll be a nice experience for some of these programs that are just used to the I have to win my tournament to get in situation.
Big ground ball. Duke, the scrapper. Dyson Williams, the Canadian. The trash collector ties it at 5.
Another abnormal goal for Duke off the scramble in the middle of the field. Williams sticks his nose into the dirt. Picks up the ground ball. Right here, you're going to see him come in. Break in the right way, get the ground ball. At some point, here it is, and then
Duke 1 for 2 with the extra man. Philip Robertson scored the extra man goal. The Princeton transfer, the other one. Nakeie Montgomery. Badour cans it. 5 straight for Duke. They have their first lead.
How pretty was that? The skip pass down to Sowers.
Of the Duke scoring. Brennan O'Neill, top freshman in the country, scoreless in that opening half. Michael Sowers had a couple of assists for Duke, still looking for that first true goal off his stick. Kicked one in against Denver. Dyson Williams, you mentioned that's the Sunfield. I don't know if Savic saw that.
And Duke's best offensive set there. They get Caputo again coming on the high wing. Just simple, no reason for Williams to be that wide open. Caputo had not forced the issue.
Riley Walsh. O'Neill slipping and sliding. Whips it wide. It's amazing, right, to see guys like Manown and Riley Walsh, Nakeie Montgomery, who we have seen featured in such prominent roles before, now bit players on this team. Joey Manown. 85th career goal.
Duke starting to roll. Manown here attacks the backside, left hand. The extra step to the far post is key. Just picture perfect release. be more accurate. You're going to put more power on it versus when you start second-guessing yourself. And you can see that in Robert Morris and how they've been shooting since Adler's coming to cage.
Owen Caputo. Back up top, Cameron Badour. His second. Depth of scoring in 2 games for Duke has been on display. 9 different goal scorers in the opener, 7 today.
And Caputo, I can't imagine this is the case, but he seems to be not like he's playing with a ton of confidence, which is shocking to me.
Extra man for Robert Morris. They have not scored since the first quarter. Ryan Smith's got 2 of the 5. Here's Boudreau. Good look. Adler there on the rebound. It's Kealey. Now, nothing Adler could do about that one. He has stopped 8 of 9. He's been a difference maker. But Corson Kealey on cleanup duty.
I mean, right here, Robert Morris. Adler with that save. Robert Morris needs more of those breaks and quick hands inside to keep competitive with Duke. There in the interior, they had done a nice job with a couple passes, and Smith had opened up. With Adler playing the way that he is, you take your chances on the interior rather than the 15-yard step down.
And that time it's Ryan Smith right on the crease. And Robert Morris with 2 straight. They are not going away. It's 9-7.
And this play right here is why Ryan Smith, one of the top indoor prospects in the game. The catch, the composure, bearing it to the far post. Look, I mean, this is his hand, sticks all over his hands.
O'Neill's been quiet.
To me, O'Neill's has been forcing a little bit. That shot, the last shot, he double clutched. I don't think he's probably ever done that in his career. He's overthinking it a little bit. He's forced the issue. Even the best recruits in the country, one of the best players that we've ever seen in the high school game, are going to have some growing pains in the college game. Is Duke right there does a nice job on the offense. Again, that second midfield coming back to Duke and putting another one on the cage.
And that was one where O'Neill had a look, decided to make the extra pass.
And right there, it's that vision that we love about his game. We know his athletic prowess, his stick skills, but it's his understanding of the game. And right there, he knows that Robert Morris is going, their goalies have come in tough situations and played really well, but it's just getting contributions from everyone on the roster. The defensive middies pushing in transition, the Walshes, the Caputos. That has been their strength. And again, if they get those pieces and Sowers and O'Neill tend to get that rhythm, watch out. But Robert Morris not going away.
Jake Boudreau, the Canadian, a 3-year starter. 9 goals last year. One of 3 Canadians in the starting 6 on offense. Individual
right
effort.
There. And Boudreau, the key here, right?
I sent the email earlier today. There will not be voting this week, so the first poll for the season doesn't come out until the 15th. So to answer your question, yes.
I think that's a way of you avoiding answering the question, Anish.
I gave you the answer.
Oh, what a shot there. Oh, big-time shot for Badour. His 3rd of the game, a hat trick. Again, the unknowns right here. I mean, this is that's a Division I midi dodge shooting on the.
Still time on the first man up, so 6-on-4 here for Duke. Not 6-on-5, excuse me.
Sowers is going to be trouble here now. They've got Robert Morris rotating.
And like clockwork, Sean Lowry.
And Duke doing a nice job identifying which Robert Morris man was having to play to. And right here they notice, you can see, they shove up the field. Lowry just gets his. There was a bunch of pushing there. I think it was just a function of Duke pushed in the back first. Who did they see do it first? It was pretty choppy in there.
And That one froze Adler. Was that the old hip side goal? Popovich.
Definitely one Adler would want back. Right there, they force Popovich down to his left. He's not able to get much on it. But sometimes the easy ones become difficult. Maybe he just missed it out of the release point. But right there, 6-on-6, we're not generating a ton. We need to score in transition. But possession's so critical. So, which one do you kind of prioritize over the other?
Montgomery off the rocker step. Nakeie, Montgomery.
And that's the problem right there. Robert Morris, they have that turnover. They're exhausted on defense. That's why it looks so easy for Montgomery. He was fresh. Robert Morris tired on the defensive end, but just look at this subtle stutter step right there in the explosion. And then he switches to his strong right hand. Goes
Eyes me to see him back on the first midfield before this season is over. Brennan O'Neill to Dyson Williams.
I don't think you leave your best athlete on the second midfield, right? For him, especially when he's skilled. Maybe let him play more D-midi. Get him out on the field a lot. I played with a player, Billy Gladding, who was our best D-midi, but also played on the second midfield. And right there, he gets his second in a row. This one with his left hand, but it's get him on the field, get him in transition, get him using his speed. Become a second-team All-American as a D-midi second midfielder because he has that type of ability. And right there, just hammers it left-handed. Gets two straight for the Blue Devils.
Today, Matt.
Yeah, Chris Gray, kind of a forgotten, I don't want to say he's forgotten, but he had over 100 points in his last full season, right? Like, he's an all-time great because of Sowers and what he did last year. People don't talk about him. But so far this season, he looks more comfortable in that offense than I would say Sowers looks for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, he's getting the Dr. Dre circa turn of the century treatment.
That's a sloppy pass there for the Blue Devils. And again, look, Sowers has 3 assists on the game, right? He's got 3 points. And so, but when you put it in context of how good he is, all-time great.
Holden makes it 14-10.
Robert Morris is not going away. They're going to fight right there. Holmgren, step down, righty to the far post. Another nice awareness goal in transition. Duke slow to slide up the field.
To Romo, here's Leary. Can the Colonials get it to 3? Errant pass turned over. They've had a couple of these opportunities unsettled, and we've seen that a few too many times.
Yeah, a couple turnovers. Credit Duke, though. Doing a really good job on those slow breaks, identifying, hey, that's a long stick coming, we're going to be slow to go, and timing it perfectly. And the closer that long stick gets to the attackman, the tougher that pass gets. As
Nakeie Montgomery has figured out he can do what he wants right now. The hat trick, all 3 in this fourth quarter.
And that's the part that's confusing about him to me is how easy does that look? How easy? He's effortlessly getting his hands free and separating. He could do that at a much more consistent rate. I feel like
you're banged up a little bit. Didn't really have a great season last year for Duke. Wasn't All-American as a sophomore. Really improved as a passer that year. You mentioned the breakout as a freshman in the tournament as Caputo shoots wide. He's immensely talented, senior out of Dallas, and you sit down and talk to him. You saw the Relaxing with Peacock feature. Great kid, great kid.
Well, you think about that piece. What to me, which was so interesting, is his love for Coach Danowski, right? Oftentimes when this Duke's pressuring here, oftentimes if you're that talented and you had this amazing run and you're not playing as much, you're frustrated with the coach. You don't talk to him about this father figure. You're upset with it. And so, obviously he understands what Coach Danowski's doing and motivating him here. Again, just another goal there. O'Neill gets his second assist for the ground by Williams, a couple in transition. Getting some goals, probably not the way they usually expect to, right? This is a team that the offensive depth at 6-on-6, they have to feel comfortable that they're going to get a good quality shot on more possessions than not. But they kind of excelled in the other areas. And again, long-term, that could be a good lesson learned for them.
Skip pass. Bounce shot and a score. Corson Kealey, 50-plus goals a couple of years ago.
That they had a couple goals that they created for Duke in the transition game as well.
Robert Morris plays all but 2 of its games on the road. They're an independent, so hard to get a schedule together. They're going to be a tough out. Veteran team, they got some pieces. Kealey with another one. There's a flag down. 6 point.
He typically has some of the best recruiting classes, if not the best recruiting classes. So it's just absolutely loaded.
Duke does it again with a comeback. Down 5-1.